So, Saturday morning is all about book review days. And I've been on holiday recently. I've read tons of books. And I normally know what book I personally am going to like and what I'm personally going to dislike. I don't often do a negative review because I don't think that it serves a purpose. However, on this occasion, um, I think Peter Jones' book, Tycoon, needs to be singled out. It is cringeworthy. It, I mean, maybe one day my paths and Peter Jones's paths we might cross in some way, shape, or form. And I think he's an unbelievable entrepreneur. I think he's got a presence on television. I think he's got a presence as a person because he's so intelligent and tall and big, and he's intimidating, but all in a positive way. And so I was really, really excited to read this book. However, I started looking at the reviews first of all, and he's got an average rating of something like 3 point something, which is not good for a book. And sorry, I've just done a workout. And so I'm out of breath. And so I was excited but apprehensive about reading this book because I've read some of the comments and I don't normally read the comments. I don't know why, but the reviews just caught my eye because normally I don't read a book unless it's 4.5 out of 5. And this was 3 point something. So I was like, so let's read some of these reviews. I think this book is so dated, so old fashioned that he's just missed the mark. The way he presents it, he's completely missed the mark. I don't think it's enjoyable. I don't think it's a book that was a grind. I remember going for a run in Tenerife and reading the book, and it was a slog to run to run. And normally, a good book for me takes my mind off the running and it focuses me on the content. This was a complete other way around. It focused my mind on the running and thinking, oh, how far have I done? How fast am I going? Oh my God, still got so much to do. Oh shit, what's he said? It was just, it wasn't good at all. I am so disappointed that this book, he put this book out there. Either he's got bad advice or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but it's a terrible book. I would go as far as saying it's a terrible book. Now, I'll start by saying 10 rules of business. So I'll start. I stopped taking notes after this. So there's 10 rules of business. This is what he said. And so I'm going to read all 10 rules of business out for you. And then there was other things. There 10 rules of this, 10 rules of that, 10 rules of this. And it was dribble. It was drosh. It was boring. It was nothing that you'd expect from Peter Jones. And part of me feels really, really bad about saying this. Part of me thinks that I shouldn't do a negative review, because I don't like being negative about people and other people. He's put a lot of work into it, time, effort. But also sometimes, like Pep Guardiola, right, is absolutely fantastic. But recently he got beat by Southampton 2-0. And his decisions need to be called in question in that specific match. Nothing else. In that specific match, he wasn't good enough. The players weren't good enough. It's a collective. It's a collective fault. And so there's nothing wrong with challenging people. And I think this is what I'm doing here, because Peter Jones is a massive hero of mine. I look up to him. I think he's an amazing, amazing businessman. And the things he sees is just things that I would never see. And so I feel bad writing a negative review. I mean, I didn't write it on Audible because what's the point? But I thought, you know what? Let's just forget it. Let's not actually put it out there. Because it's not worth my time, and I don't want to be negative to other people because I put time, effort, money in recording a book. But I also think I've got a responsibility to you guys. I don't want you guys to waste your money, waste your credits on a book like this because it's drosh. I don't think I learned one thing from this book at all. And the way it was read, the presentation, if you ever listen to it, you'll understand. It was so 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It was terrible. Anyway, so here's these rules for 10 rules for a business. So rule 1, have a vision. Rule 2, use your influence. Rule 3, build your confidence. I mean, straight away, these things don't fucking mean anything. I'm getting mad reading it because it's fucking shit. It is absolute bollocks. What, they're just words. The words that he thinks sound good. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad inside. When I was actually listening to it, I was like, what? Fucking tell me why. Tell me. Go on. Give me a reason why you put that. And it happens to be 10 rules of business. It just so happens to be 10. A magic 10. It's, rounded up. It's not 6, it's not 7, it's not 11, it's not 12, it's 10. What a coincidence. I mean, he's just tried to pigeonhole everything into, oh, that's rule 1, that's rule 2. It's just, And again, like I say, I'm not normally negative. I don't normally hate on books. I stopped writing notes, and that's unlike me on books. So rule 1, have a vision. Rule 2, use your influence. Fuck does that mean? And he does go into it, by the way. He explains it, but again, I don't agree. And I feel bad because he's like a billionaire and I'm like way down here. So obviously he's more successful than me. So maybe I'm just not clever enough to understand. That's probably the case. Rule number 4, make a commitment. Rule number 5, take action. Rule number 6, aim for results. Rule number 7, get your timing right. Rule number 8, persevere. Rule number 9, be caring. Don't forget yourself. So be caring, not just other people, but yourself as well. Rule number 10, use your intuition, use your gut feeling. I mean, there's some of us I agree with, but the rules, yeah. As you can see, I'm not a massive fan of it. Shocked that this went out in this sort of present. I think it's a presentation as well. If he could articulate it in a way of these rules into a story, I think people relate to stories more rather than just rule 1, rule 2, rule 4, and then that's it. There's no storytelling. There's no on edge. If he could relate that to a situation, a circumstance, something that happened, then I'm sure that it'd have been a lot better book. But because he just articulated rule 1, rules, it's like a blog post, reading a blog post. It wasn't engaging at all. And like I said, I read over 100 books a year, and that's got to be, I can't remember if I read it in 2022. It might have been the end of 2022. If it was the worst book of 2022. It was the worst book, probably the worst book I've ever read. I feel real bad because Peter Jones is so successful, but he can't write books. He just can't. It's a terrible book. Just write it in a story format. Put it in a story format. What is these books called that do that? Write lessons in a story format, which is so good. It'll be worth it. Don't worry. The Go Givers, is it? The Go Givers? Let's have a look. Although I wasn't impressed with her last book either. The Go Givers. The Go Giver. Yeah, The Go Giver. That's their book. Bob Berg and John David Mann. Brilliant book. Brilliant book. I think I've done a review on it, but one of the best books I've read, The Go Giver. And by the way, when I was on holiday, I also read The Go Giver Influencer. Wasn't impressed by that either. I will do a review about that because there is certain aspects that are worthwhile talking about, but it almost like was they've done so well with The Go Giver that they wanted to carry on and go and keep it going, and they tried to squeeze as much juice out of this orange as possibly could do. And it wasn't as good as the first book. However, it was beautifully written. They are so talented at writing books. Peter Jones, on the other hand, is not talented in that area at all. I would suggest that that I don't know. I'm trying to find some reviews here for you. Rate and review. No, I don't want to rate and review it. Remove from device. Might well do that. Title details. Maybe it's in there. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's got an average rating 129. Yeah, I would suggest that Peter Jones, by the way, can't write books very well. Or he needs to get better advice. So out of 129 reviews, he got an average of 3.5. And the first review I've come across is not as good as Duncan's. 1,000,000%. Duncan Ballantyne's book is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It was a story about his life. It was a story about situations, circumstances, and why he thinks the way he does. Peter Jones, he give nothing away, no examples about how he's done well, what he's achieved, blah blah blah. None of that. It's only 2 hours, 8 minutes. It's almost like he thought, I need to get a book out there. I'm gonna get a book out there. Here we go. And it's really poor. And I feel bad because I've never done a book review like this before. And I want to get across that I really respect Peter Jones. Obviously, he's achieved amazing things. He's not only that, but he's got an awesome family. He's a family man. He's done really, really well. But I just don't like the book, and so I've got to be honest and open. And there's no point in me just telling everybody what I think. No point in sugarcoating things and just, I don't know, steering away from negative books when I didn't really enjoy it. And yeah, this one I didn't enjoy. All right, my friends, I love you. I appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.